They warned us. They warned us never to play the numbers you see in a dream, not because you won't win, but because everyone who wins disappears. Last week, she became the 13th winner, and she hasn't been seen since. Before we go any further, can I ask you for a small favor? My mom said I can't reach 1,000 subscribers. Kindly help me prove her wrong by subscribing. This story took me days to write, record, and edit. Every frame, every emotion, every sound. It cost you nothing to support me, but it truly means everything to me. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not, and comment your location below. I want to know where my amazing viewers are watching from. I read every comment, and I will be giving shout out in my next video. Shout out to my amazing subscriber, Susanga Scott from London, Ollie Guest from New Jersey, Mandla Sidhu from South Africa, and Pauline Stewart from UK. Her name was Judith, and when I tell you she was tired, I don't just mean sleepy. I mean the kind of tired that lives in your bones. The kind that makes your shoulders heavy and your spirit quiet. 28 years old, and life had already beaten her down more times than she could count. Every morning, before the sun rose, she was awake, sweeping the compound, preparing breakfast for her younger brother, David, checking his forehead for fever. Again, by 6 a.m., she was at the market, selling vegetables under the scorching sun. By 3 p.m., she was washing dishes at Mama Elizabeth's restaurant. By 9 p.m., she was walking home in the dark, counting coins in her pocket that never seemed to be enough. And every night, she sat by David's bedside, watching him cough, watching him grow weaker. The doctors said he needed surgery, urgent surgery. The cost? 2 million naira. She had 43,000. Debt collectors came every week, knocking, shouting, threatening. You will pay us, Judith, one way or another. Her aunt would chase them away with a broom, cursing them in Igbo. But Judith knew. They would come back. They always came back. She was drowning, and no one was coming to save her. It was a Tuesday night when everything changed. The rain had been falling for hours. The kind of rain that feels like the sky is crying with you. Judith lay on her thin mat, staring at the ceiling. David was coughing in the next room. Each cough felt like a knife in her chest. God, she whispered, if you're listening, please, I'm begging you, show me a way. She closed her eyes. And then, she slept. The dream came like a fog, thick, cold, unnatural. She was standing in the middle of a forest she didn't recognize. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches twisting like fingers reaching toward the moon. And then she saw him, a man, tall, so tall his head seemed to touch the sky, but he had no face. Where his face should have been, there was nothing. Just smooth, dark skin, and across his chest, his arms, his neck, white chalk markings, patterns she had never seen before, symbols that seemed to pulse with their own light. He moved toward her without walking, gliding, silent. Judith tried to run, but her feet wouldn't move. He leaned down, close, so close she could feel the cold radiating from him like winter air. And then he whispered. His voice was smooth, ancient, like it came from the earth itself. 6, 12, 23, 31, 42, 49. Play them only if you are ready to pay the price. Judith woke up gasping. Her heart was pounding so hard she thought it would break through her ribs. She looked around. She was in her room. David was still coughing. The rain was still falling. But the numbers were burned into her mind. 6, 12, 23, 31, 42, 49. She couldn't forget them, even if she tried. The next morning, she told her aunt. Big mistake. The moment the words left her mouth, her aunt dropped the pot she was holding. It crashed to the ground, scattering rice everywhere. Judith, no. Her aunt's face went pale. What did you just say? I had a dream, Auntie. A man gave me numbers. Stop. Her aunt grabbed her by the shoulders. Her hands were shaking. Listen to me. Those dreams. They are not dreams. They are Aku Ihe Ozu, the wealth of the dead. Judith frowned. What are you talking about? Her aunt's voice dropped to a whisper. Long ago, people in this village used to have those dreams. They would see a man with chalk markings. He would give them numbers. They would play the lottery. They would win. That sounds like a blessing. It's a curse. Her aunt's eyes filled with tears. Every single person who played those numbers disappeared, gone, vanished. Within 7 days, the spirits don't give without taking, Judith. Money that comes from the dead always takes something in return. Judith pulled away. Auntie, I don't have time for superstition. David is dying. Then let God provide another way. God has been silent. The words hung in the air like smoke. Her aunt looked at her with such sadness, such fear. If you play those numbers, you will not just lose your life, you will lose your soul. If you're watching this, and you believe some warnings should never be ignored, comment, listen to the elders. Let's see how many of you would have walked away. Judith tried to forget the dream. She really did. But the numbers followed her everywhere. She saw them on license plates, on receipts, in the patterns of cracks on the wall. 6, 12, 23, 31, 42, 49. And every night, David got worse. His cough turned bloody. His skin turned gray. The doctor pulled Judith aside. If you don't get the money for surgery within the next 2 weeks, I'm sorry. There's nothing more we can do. 2 weeks. That's all she had. It was a Friday evening when Judith made her decision. She stood outside the small betting shop at the edge of the market. Her hands were trembling as she gripped the 200 naira in her pocket. She thought about her aunt's warning. She thought about the faceless man. She thought about the disappeared winners. But then she thought about David. His smile. His laugh. The way he called her sister. With so much love. And she walked inside. The man at the counter barely looked up. Which game? National lottery. Numbers? Her voice was steady. Cold. Determined. 6, 12, 23, 31, 42, 49. The man printed the ticket, handed it to her. She stared at it. The numbers glowed under the fluorescent light. She had done it, and there was no going back. The draw was that Sunday night. Judith sat alone in her room, clutching the ticket so hard it crumpled in her hands. David was asleep. Her aunt had gone to evening prayer. The numbers appeared on the screen one by one. 6. Her heart skipped. 12. Her hands started shaking. 23. Oh God. 31. No. 42. This can't be happening. 49. She had won. 600 million naira. She should have been happy. She should have been screaming, dancing, crying tears of joy. But all she felt was cold. A deep, bone-chilling cold. Like something had just wrapped its fingers around her soul. The next morning, the news spread like wildfire. Judith won the lottery. 600 million. She's rich. People flooded her compound. Neighbors, strangers, relatives she hadn't seen in years. Everyone wanted something. Everyone wanted a piece. But her aunt stood in the corner, silent, tears streaming down her face. She didn't say a word. She didn't have to. Judith knew. If you stand for family over greed, if you believe love is worth more than gold, drop a like. Let's see how many people choose love. The first strange thing happened that night. Judith was counting money at the bank when she felt it. A cold hand on her shoulder. She turned around. No one was there. The teller looked at her strangely. Are you okay, Ma? Did you touch me? Did you touch me? No, Ma. Judith's skin prickled. She hurried out of the bank, clutching her bag. As she walked down the street, she saw something in the reflection of a shop window. A tall figure, standing behind her, faceless. She spun around. Nothing. Just people walking, talking, laughing. But the cold remained. That night, she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him, the chalk-marked man, standing at the foot of her bed, watching. Her phone rang. She grabbed it, hoping it was David. But the screen showed no caller ID. She answered anyway. Hello? Return what is not yours. The line went dead. Judith threw the phone across the room. Her hands were shaking. What had she done? The next day, she went to the cyber cafe. She had to know. She typed into the search bar, "lottery winners disappearing." The results made her blood run cold. There were dozens of articles, forum posts, missing persons reports. All of them. The same story. People who won the lottery after dreaming of numbers. People who vanished within 7 days. She clicked on one forum thread. The title read, "My brother won the lottery and disappeared. Please help." She scrolled through the comments. "My sister too. Same dream, same numbers. My husband. He's been gone for 3 years. They all had the same dream." The faceless man. Judith's vision blurred. She wasn't the first. She wasn't special. She was just next. She found a pattern. Every winner disappeared exactly at midnight on the 7th day, after claiming their prize. She counted backward. She had claimed the money on Monday. Today was Wednesday. That meant she had 4 days left. Judith tried everything. She went to the bank to return the money. "I'm sorry, Ma. Once the funds are transferred, we cannot reverse them." She tried to give it away. She went to the church, the mosque, the orphanage. But every time she tried to hand over the money, something stopped her. A voice in her head. "Keep it. You earned it. You deserve it." She tried to burn it. She piled cash in a metal drum and lit a match. The fire roared. But when the flames died down, the money was untouched. Not even scorched. She screamed. Her aunt found her sobbing in the yard. "I told you, Judith. You can't return what the spirits have given. It's already part of you." "Then what do I do?" Her aunt's voice was soft. "Sad. You pray. And you prepare." By Friday, Judith noticed something else. The people around her. They were changing. Her cousin came by, begging for money to start a business. "Just 2 million, Judith. You have so much." Her neighbor asked for school fees. Her uncle asked for a new car. "Your family. You have to help us." At first, she gave. But the more she gave, the more they wanted. And slowly, she started to feel it. The greed. Not just in them. In herself. She bought new clothes, expensive jewelry, a smartphone. She liked the way people looked at her now. With respect. With envy. She liked the power. And that's when she realized she was becoming like the others. The ones who disappeared. Her aunt confronted her that evening. "Look at yourself, Judith. You're not the same girl who cared only for her brother. You're becoming something else. I'm just enjoying what I worked for. You didn't work for it. You took it from the spirits." The words cut deep, because they were true. If you think money can change a person, if you've ever seen someone lose themselves to greed, comment. Money tests the heart. Saturday came. 1 day left. Judith knew she had to do something. She found a traditional seer in the next village. An old woman with silver hair and eyes that seemed to see through time. "You carry death on your shoulders," the woman said before Judith even spoke. "Can you help me?" The seer studied her for a long moment. "The chalk-marked man is not a spirit. He is a collector. He balances the scales of the world. When fortune is given, a debt is created. That debt must be paid." "How do I pay it?" "With a soul." Judith's stomach dropped. "Whose soul?" The seer's expression didn't change. "Yours. Or someone else's. You must offer a life in exchange for the fortune. The spirits do not care whose. They only care that the balance is restored." "I can't do that. I won't." "Then you will disappear at midnight. Like all the others." Judith stood. Her mind was racing. She couldn't sacrifice someone, but she didn't want to die either. What was she supposed to do? That night, Judith sat in her room, staring at the clock. 11 p.m. 1 hour left. David was asleep in the next room. The surgery had been scheduled. He would live. At least she had done that. Her aunt sat beside her, holding her hand. "There's still time, Judith. You can choose someone. A criminal. Someone who deserves it. No one deserves to die for my mistake." "Then what will you do?" Judith looked at her aunt, tears streaming down her face. "I'll face him. Alone." At 11:45 p.m., Judith walked into the forest. The same forest from her dream. The air was thick. The moon was hidden behind clouds. She stood under the old udala tree where, according to the stories, all the winners had vanished. She waited. At 11:58 p.m., the temperature dropped. Her breath came out in clouds. And then, he appeared. The chalk-marked man. Tall. Faceless. Glowing with that same eerie light. He moved toward her without sound. Judith's heart was pounding, but she didn't run. "I won't give you anyone else," she said. Her voice was shaking, but firm. "If you want a life, take mine. But leave everyone else alone." The man stopped. He tilted his head, as if considering. Then he spoke. "You returned nothing, yet you offer everything. I don't want this money. I don't want this fortune. I just wanted to save my brother." The man raised his hand. The chalk markings on his body began to glow brighter. Brighter. Blinding. And then, nothing. Judith woke up in her bed. Sunlight streamed through the window. She sat up, confused. She was alive. She checked her phone. Sunday morning. She ran to the mirror. She looked the same, but something felt different. She ran to David's room. He was awake, smiling. "Good morning, sister." "David, are you okay? Did they do the surgery?" He frowned. "Surgery? What surgery?" Judith's heart stopped. What do you mean?" "I'm fine, sister. I've always been fine." She ran to her aunt. "Auntie, the money, the lottery. Do you remember?" Her aunt looked at her with concern. "Judith, are you feeling all right?" "What lottery?" She checked her bank account. Empty. She checked the news. No record of her winning. She searched for the lottery ticket. Gone. It was as if it never happened. But she remembered. Every single detail. Days passed. Life returned to normal. Judith went back to the market. Back to washing dishes. But something had changed inside her. She wasn't bitter. She wasn't angry. She was at peace. She had been given a second chance. A chance to live without the weight of stolen fortune. David was healthy. The sickness? It had never existed in this version of reality. The debt collectors? Gone. Everything had been reset. Except her memory. One night, as she lay in bed, she felt something under her pillow. She reached for it. A small piece of paper. Her blood ran cold. On it, 6 numbers. New numbers. And written below them, in handwriting that wasn't hers. "Play them only if you are ready to pay the price. Money from the spirits always comes with a debt. The question is, if these numbers came to you in a dream, if you were desperate, drowning, with no way out, would you play them? Comment below. What would you have done in Judith's shoes? If you believe some fortunes are too dangerous to claim, hit that like button. And if you want more stories like this, mysteries that make you question everything, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because part 2 might be even darker. And remember, not all wealth is meant for the living.